music, R&B, hip hop, pop,
I still get
reggae, EDM, indie, old school,
side. Check it.
and sports talk.
Right here.
WorldStarHitRadio.com.
Welcome. This is Connecting Atlanta Radio. We air every single Tuesday at 8 o'clock p.m. on WorldStarHitRadio.com, where we always have amazing business executives and entrepreneurs, solopreneurs it's called. So anyways, let me get to Tonia. Tonia, thank you so much for coming on the show today. She is one of Atlanta's top real estate gurus. She has had her own show and is starting up her new show in January. So you have a lot of things going on. Love to talk to you about that. So thanks for coming on today.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
So, Tonia, tell us a little bit about what's your expertise in the real estate market?
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm originally from the Atlanta area.
Okay. Are you a Grady baby? Is what they say?
No, my brother is though.
Oh, okay.
But I actually moved to New York years ago, and while I was there, I got a real estate license.
Awesome.
And I came back and I got started here in the market in 2002. So for about 13 years now, I've been in real estate here. I love it. I sell a lot of new construction.
Mm-hmm.
I also deal in the luxury part of the business, so new construction, luxury, and relocation. People that want to live in Atlanta, you would just be amazed at how many people actually relocate to Atlanta. It's not as much as it used to be before the market crashed, but it's getting there.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's going to influx again.
It is, yes, definitely. So that's really what I do as far as on the real estate side, and also I'm a novice in real estate investing, so I just started that. And then the real estate radio show started in January, so I got my hands full. I got a lot going on.
You do. So, so how was it so you got started right before the crash, like literally before the crash?
I
like,
did.
Hello real estate, hello crash.
And you know what was funny? If you bought a house in 05, 06, 07, that was at the top of the market. So most people that bought their houses during that time, they're probably still upside down.
Yeah.
But it was so easy to make money back then. I promise you had so many people running to get a real estate license that didn't know anything about real estate, but you just had to show up and know how to say your name, and you can make money in real estate back then.
Wow.
So a lot of those people, fortunately and unfortunately, when the market crashed, they got back out of the business and started back doing what they used to do.
Right.
And just left the professionals in the business. So. But yeah, that's what happened. It was crazy. Everybody was a real estate agent. I was like, okay.
That must have been annoying, though, to deal with people that had no idea what they were doing, and you're on the opposite end being like, really? Are you kidding me?
Yes, and I would see it if I were to get an offer on one of my listings, or if I'm representing a buyer and someone just got a license and happened to get a listing, just how to, my relationship with them and me having to tell them how to do their job.
Yeah.
To make the deal go through. So yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah. So I had a short sale that I just purchased.
Okay.
But it definitely wasn't
Congrats.
short. It was like close to 2 years to purchase that thing.
Short sales, yes. That's so funny because it's really a long sale.
Yeah, it is. So, but I feel blessed. I bought the place I live in, and so I didn't have to move, and I got it over inside the perimeter off of Roswell Road for $69,000 for a 2-bedroom condo. So
okay, that's awesome.
Yes.
Unheard of.
Because it needs to have some upkeep, but I've lived in it for 5 years, so I know what all the issues are,
Yeah,
But
that's great.
That was God-given, I feel like.
A lot of people that want to buy, one of the best ways to do it is the way that you did it. They start out, they do lease purchase.
Yeah.
If you get a good landlord that has a lot of properties and they want to get rid of some, and then sometimes they're just getting older and they don't really want the hassle of getting the calls. They really will work with you. There's some great landlords out there.
Yeah, she was awesome. Love Amy. That was my landlord for 5 years. But so with you, so you have your real estate, and then you have. Let's talk about your show a little bit.
Okay.
So is it just real estate agents that are going to want to listen to your show? Is it people that are looking to buy a home? Is it just investors? Or who's your core audience? Do you think?
Everybody. We're going to talk about credit.
Okay.
We're going to talk about just your personal finances.
Okay.
Investments, personal investments, as well as real estate investments. We're going to talk about just everything. There's one segment in my show, towards the end of my show, like the last 20 to 30 minutes, we're just going to talk about any and everything. Current news, any and everything. So my guest for the week will actually get a chance to hang around and we'll have some fun. So we'll talk about everything. It won't be your boring radio show as far as real estate. Because a lot of real estate shows, the information is good, but then it's very boring. And I don't want that.
Yeah,
because I'm not boring, right?
No, you're not boring. You definitely can entertain.
Thank you. So I'm really excited. I think everybody can learn something from the show. If you're a first-time home buyer, you'll learn a lot. If you're renting, say you have bad credit and you're renting now, there's still, some things that you would want a lot of information actually on the show that you would learn a lot of things from, because I'll actually be highlighting rentals.
That'll be awesome.
My rentals of the week, luxury properties, everything. I mean, we're going to talk about everything, investments, everything.
I think another one that would be really good is to talk about would be when condo associations come in and want to get bought out by investors. So as a condo owner of your own property, how do you handle that? How do you know when it's the right time to sell? And how do you know the right type of questions to ask to make sure you're getting the best deal?
Oh, wow. That's interesting because you have your HOAs. And at that point, when you own a condo, it's good to really come together as a unit.
Yeah.
To really understand what you have. Now, your situation may be very interesting because you got such a good deal where you are in that location. That's a steal. So you definitely may have some investors looking at your area. I've seen things happen years ago when they extended the runway at Hartsfield-Jackson, that 5th runway. There used to be some apartments right off of Riverdale Road, and what they did, the airport came and bought them out. Even the people that were renting, they gave each one of them $5,000.
Oh, that's nice.
As well as the people that actually own the apartments, they got a good deal on selling them, but everybody made out. So it was a good situation. Your situation, same thing. If somebody comes along, I'm sure they'll really want that property in that area.
Yeah.
That's hot.
Yeah.
They'll give you what you want.
And our property's really old. It was an apartment to condo conversion, so.
You know what? I think I may know where you're talking about. Yeah. Really nice though. I love that location.
And right across the street on Mount Perrin, they're building townhomes starting at $750,000. I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yes. Are those the John Whelan ones? Because they're building some.
I think so. I'm not sure. But it's right on the corner of Roswell and Mount Perrin. It's the only it's the construction that's going on right there. So that's really crazy. But so that's awesome. And then also, I hope that you get Invest Atlanta. One of them, the leaders over there on your show. I think that would be amazing.
I need to do that. I actually have about 5 or 6 people, in the beginning when you're letting people know what you're doing, they're really excited. And, I have some people that actually followed up, some people that are going to be a part of the show and that are going to be actual sponsors. So I'm really excited about that. I know. I've been doing my work. So we'll see. I'm really excited. And I know the show is going to move in a great direction as far as, the people that'll be coming by and just the knowledge they're going to be, dropping in everybody's ears. I'm really excited about it. Yeah.
That's awesome. So, and then the other one is school systems.
Oh, God.
I think that's a good one. I know that gets a little political and stuff like that, but that can really drive a lot of because people love to hate politics.
Yes, and it's kind of tricky in our business. Being a realtor, we have to really watch what we say. Like if someone were to come to me and say, hey, Tonia, is this a good area or not a good area? I can't say that. If I were to take you out and look at properties and say in some neighborhoods I locked my car door, in other neighborhoods I didn't.
Right.
I mean, really, I can't do that.
You just say you lock your car door everywhere you go.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I have to really be careful with things like that. But some people may call me and say, hey, I only want to live in a school district. That's it. And I do a search, according to that. But it gets really tricky sometimes with that. Of course, depending on where you are, the more expensive. It's kind of like if you get a really good deal, then you can kind of pay for private school. But then if you pay a lot, then the public schools are really good. Yeah. So it's just kind of a trade-off.
Yeah. There was a lady I heard on one show on a station on the radio. and she talked about, which I thought was a really good suggestion, was going and speaking to the neighbors. As to what they are, as to what they feel like the school system's like and the neighborhood and stuff like that. And when I was out looking, because I wasn't sure where I was going to live when I was looking to buy, they said, go there in the morning time and then drive back there through night as well.
Yes, I always tell people there's some interesting things happens in real estate. You get people to ask you, what's the demographics of the neighborhood? And I'll say, well, what do you mean? And then I'll tell them, if you really want to know the makeup of a neighborhood, come by on a Saturday when people are out with their families and they're enjoying their homes.
Right.
That's my answer.
That's a great response.
And I'm sticking to it.
Yeah. One thing I love about my area is it's extremely diverse. So I think that's fantastic. So it's a great area. So and you are in the Cobb area, right?
I am.
Cobb. That's a great place. And so let me ask you this. So this is a great topic.
Okay.
Now that they're building the new sports center out there.
Oh God.
I know, this is horrible. I drive 75 every day. I'm like, oh God. And so I was driving home the other day, and I was thinking, they're building a whole new road for this project. The city's spending all this money. I was like, is this company, this guy, this billionaire that's starting this, is it for the Falcons or for the baseball?
The Braves.
The Braves.
Yes.
For the Braves. And for all this, is he paying? Is he reimbursing the city for all this?
Yeah, I think the city's going to make out really well on this deal, and they normally do. Just like with the Falcon Stadium. I don't know if you've seen the actual virtual tour. Oh my God.
It's gorgeous.
Yes, it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. But yeah, they always come in and make out well when they come to do new stadiums and things like that. So.
That's good, because I just want to make sure the taxpayers aren't paying for that new road that's being built for the establishment, a private company that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's coming in.
No, I don't think so. And also, I mean, we have so much traffic in that area now, like Cobb Parkway, where it's going to be out. Because when I first found out where it was, I was like, wait a minute, they're going to put it here?
Is that by the Cobb Galleria?
Yeah, it's on the other side of where the mall is.
Oh,
and I was just like, here. Like, there's always so much congestion right there.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
And so what do you think that's going to do for the real estate property? Do you think it's going to go up, go down?
Up.
Go up.
Up.
Is that because of all the new money and stuff that's coming into the city? Or?
I think so too, but that area is already kind of pricey.
Yeah.
But not too bad though, because you can really get some good deals in the Smyrna, Vinings area now. But when that comes, yeah, I think you're going to have a lot of, especially builders that have a lot of money, they're going to try to secure land now to build townhomes. You know, there are more townhome permits right now than anything else.
Really?
Yes. All of the builders, they're finding out that it's less expensive, of course, to build townhomes. Because you don't need that much land. Everybody's connected.
And you can sell basically one large house with 4 units.
That's it.
For the same price as you would a house.
Yeah, they are. So what they're doing, because it's that way, the interiors are really nice. Because they feel like they have to give you something, and they do for $750. You really do. But yeah, I mean, it's amazing. I was like, oh my God. If you just look in town, all of the nice little cities in town, inside the perimeter, most of the permits are townhomes.
Wow. I guess that's why they're building that, because they're able to get more onto that small lot. Okay.
Interesting, right?
Yeah, that's crazy. I remember a friend of mine, a guy that I used to date when I was like in my 20s down in South Florida, and this friend of his family, whatever, he was moved from Jersey and was living out of their home. They had paid $1 million for this house in Boca Raton, and their backyard was so small, the only thing they could fit was like a dipping pool. Isn't that crazy? I'm like, you have basically, you just paid for a structured building that can be destroyed.
Yep.
In seconds.
And a lot of times people want to pay for that area to say, I live
the area,
here,
exactly.
like 90210, right?
Yeah.
You pay for the zip code. You really do. And then the convenience, a lot of times people want to live close to the city because we know Atlanta traffic is just getting worse by the day because so many people are moving here. And every year when the transportation committee meets, it's just like, okay, what are we going to do? We're still like behind the times as far as our public transportation and everything that Atlanta has to offer. It's such a great city, and I think it became just like this. Of course, we have this influx right now, but we have so many people coming. It's just like everybody here drives, right? It's not like Chicago or New York where everybody would take public transportation. I mean, even millionaires ride the subway in New York.
Yeah.
You know, here it's like you ride the bus, the train, like, I can't talk to you.
I mean, you could literally, like, if they allowed, I wish they would allow the MARTA to go down to Alpharetta or even to Cumming, or I know Cumming may not allow it, but at least down to Alpharetta, because even all those executives, you could take the MARTA in, right? And then get off the MARTA and take Uber over to your office.
If that happens, I'll be very shocked. It was really hard to get MARTA inside of Buckhead. That only happened because of the Olympics.
Interesting.
It was never a MARTA station.
Really?
There.
Wow.
The Olympics. So, yeah, it's very interesting. If you would just kind of look at the history of MARTA and how it works, and a lot of neighborhoods, they don't want it. They don't want that much of ease. You know, that's
ease of use to get into the neighborhood and stuff like that.
They're like, no, we're good over here.
Yeah, but crime's going to happen
Bubba.
anyways, I feel like. So, you know?
It is, but a lot of people don't see it that way. I know, it's interesting.
That's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty exciting. Well, good for you, because your property value is going to be going up in the next probably, 3 to 5 years, right?
Yes.
So where do you think are probably some of the hot spots right now?
I think Johns Creek has always been really, really hot, especially for families.
Yeah.
It's so far. It really is. It is. East Cobb and North Fulton, you know how they meet? Mm-hmm. That area is so expensive. I mean, if you, for instance, if you say I want to live in East Cobb and my budget is $400,000, no, just
really.
You can get a house there, but it was built in 1976.
Wow.
Yeah, really interesting.
Dang.
And it may or may not be renovated.
That's when. Whenever, in the next 10 years or whatever it is, when we do have that next crash, whenever that is that's when you have to start to prepare now to build up the funds so when there is a crash, you can go in and buy up that property at pennies on the dollar.
I honestly think it will be within 5 years.
Yeah?
I do.
Because they're building up so much quick right now?
They're building a lot. And then, too, before, one of the main reasons for the crash was...
The mortgage notes?
Creative financing, right? You just had to say your name and sign it. If you had a good credit score. So now it's not as lenient as it was before with financing, but slowly but surely the mortgage companies are, they're getting there.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
And there was just some new changes or something that mortgage companies have to abide by or something like that. That just happened.
Yeah. For instance, I just sold a house last month and the buyer was going FHA. So at least 60 days to close, not 30 days anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a little longer to get your money. But what's interesting is the closing attorneys, everybody has to get used to that process because if you're FHA, then that's the way it is.
Yeah.
VA always takes about a good 45 days to close a loan, between 40, depending on the loan officer. But yeah, just a big change with FHA.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. I'll tell you, when my real estate broker who worked with me, which I need to get him a gift, but we had 60 days, I guess 60 days to close, right? But he said 30 days. Because he always gave that extra month for whatever the mortgage. Of course, the mortgage company a week before started to ask me for all these additional documents. I'm like, don't you people have your stuff together? Like,
they don't.
I'm like, don't you ask for the same stuff every day from everyone? Like,
but you know what? What I've learned over the years, I mean, as a broker, because I'm actually a broker now, but you really want to have your team. You want to have a couple of, 2 or 3 loan officers that you kind of refer your buyers to that really know how to handle their business. They're going to give your clients the same level of service that you would give them. So, they're in good hands. You want to have the same inspectors and different things like that. But, oh my God, the loan process. Okay. Over the years, I've teamed up and fired a lot of loan officers. Because I'm like, okay, you're not calling my people back. You're not calling me back. You're asking for stuff at the last minute. Losing documents. Just, you name it. I just had 2 deals with this one loan officer. And I won't say her name or the company name. But I was like, never again. Never, ever, ever. There's some really good loan officers out there that have a really good system. A lot of times, the bad part about it, if you're really good, then it's going to spread like wildfire.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you, you're an
Exactly.
agent. I'm going to say, oh my God, call Tom. He's awesome.
Yeah,
He's
because
awesome.
it makes your process easier.
And then Tom's going to get so busy. Instead of him saying, hey, Tonya, I really appreciate the referrals. And when you called him, instead of saying, oh, Jacqueline, you know what? I'm really, really busy this month. I'm going to have Brad handle this for me. They won't do that. Because they'll think you won't call them back.
Right.
But that's what we want them to do, is to tell us, so at the last minute you won't stress out our buyer.
Right.
And I had that happen with someone that was really, really good, but now I'm afraid to send her more business because it was a disaster.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. Well, the guy that I used, he did refer me to someone else.
Okay.
But I went back to like a friend of mine who I knew, who I felt more trust and comfort with. But I will say that because he was the broker or whatever, and the officer, I guess, whoever it is that does all the closing papers and stuff like that,
Closing attorney,
he
yes.
really got on top of her. Not the closing attorney, it's within his own office or something.
The processor or the
Yeah, the
underwriter.
processor. Yeah. So he really got on her. Was like, hey, like, what are you talking about? When they were like asking me for some ridiculous documents and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
and sometimes what they'll do too, and even though, like, especially if you're building, because I do a lot of new construction, if they ask for your bank statements when we first give you a loan approval, of course, closer to time, they're gonna need some, you know, more updated bank statements. And then too, they pull your credit right before. I had a deal, I want to say last year, that I had this girl and she did not tell the truth about her employment situation. She worked 38 hours, but she was saying that she was full-time, but she really wasn't. So that made all the difference. So they do a VOE, verification of employment in the beginning, but they also call in the end. So when they call back, they got something different.
Oh, wow.
So like a week before we're supposed to close, she couldn't close. So you gotta always tell the truth.
Oh yeah,
Always tell the truth. Yeah.
It was funny because when they sent me the documents asking me what these credits and stuff like that were, one of them was the one that they pulled. I was like, this is you.
Yeah, the inquiries, yes.
I was like, that's your inquiry. And then I did end up buying myself a couch with rooms to go. It's paid off. I paid it off within 3 months, but anyways, they were like, what's that? I was like, shit.
Yeah, you do have to be careful depending on
I was so tired of waiting, and I wanted this damn couch, and it was like, even though I wasn't gonna wait that long, but it was like 60 months, no financing, zero, you know what I'm saying, %. I was like, dang, I've been wanting this couch, I've been researching it for a year.
I remember back years ago, I would say, I'm about to date myself, 1996.
When you were still in high school?
Almost.
Okay.
Rooms to go, I went in and I saw this beautiful bedroom. So I was like, oh my God, I gotta have it. Something like that, 3 to 5 years, no payment. I was like, cool.
You missed
You
one
get
payment.
caught up. But you know what's happened? Unfortunately, I was in an accident, 7585 northbound, right? The craziest thing ever, totaled my car. So I got this big check, right? So when the first payment came due as soon as I got that check, so I just paid it off, fortunately. But I could imagine if I had missed a payment, been late a payment.
And they back interest you all that from the beginning.
Oh my God.
I was like, I just went on, I was like, every paycheck, so $100, $100. I preset it up. I was like, I was like, y'all ain't gonna get me caught up.
And that's how you work that system. Yeah. When they do that, you make sure you have your stuff done. You say, okay, I've had 5 years or 3 years or however long to save. When it comes due, I'm gonna give them their check. Right. And that's how you always get the best, because I don't think I paid any interest at all because I paid it off.
Paid it off right away. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. So you have your real estate, you have your radio show, and then you said there was a third thing. Investments. So where does Tonia
at
see
least
her
properties that I was hanging on to? I would probably fix and flip more than that. Also do some investments with the group. Wow, and that's on the investment side. On the real estate side, I definitely will have my team up and running. I do have a couple of people now that I'm working with. One is a listing agent, and I'm also looking for a buyer's agent. So I'm building that team. So in 2 years, that would be solid. And then on the radio show side, oh my goodness, I hope that it's a huge success, and I have a lot of sponsors and people that are following me and getting some great information because I really want good feedback. I can definitely take constructive criticism. So I just want to do my best and be the best me I can be.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So what's going to be the name of your show? Where can people find out about you? Where can they follow you and stuff like that?
Well, right now, I'm still working the legal part out with the name, so I don't want to say just yet, but I will be able to say in a couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But it's going to definitely be all about real estate. I'm so excited because the experts that I have coming on the show, they know their stuff. When the credit guy comes on, I mean, you can ask him any question you want to ask him about credit. And he's going to tell you how to kind of get around certain things because a lot of things we just don't know as consumers.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of things that people do, even when bill collectors call us and you know, they're supposed to say certain things. And if you ask them to stop calling you, they're supposed to stop calling you. I mean, it's a lot of rights that we have and we don't use them. But when he comes on, he'll be able to tell you exactly what you need to do. One of the things that I learned is you only need really a 620. Well, some loan officers say they can do it at 580, but no. 620 to 640 to qualify for a home, but that's still only fair credit.
Yeah.
Good credit is like 700.
Right.
And a lot of people don't realize that until you get in
and it's hard, boy.
It is.
Holy macaronis.
Listen, I've seen that happen, like almost at 7 and like, oh my God, something happens, you know? So yeah, it happens over the years. I think, you know, a lot of people, if they were to truly be honest about it, you go through your cycles. You have your good credit, you're like, oh, okay. And then something happened, you're like, all right, I got to build it back up, you know? And then sometimes like when the market crashed, I know a lot of my colleagues and people lost their homes and they didn't have an income and they just started doing jobs that they really didn't really want to do. There were a few though that really weathered the storm, and I decided to stay in the business. That was hard though. That was really hard.
But you diversified yourself, so that was good. You didn't just do new construction. You worked with investors and you worked with high luxury because people with money are still going to be buying.
That's the thing. And then too, if you position yourself, and I learned so many lessons when that last crash happened because it affected me, and not as much as some other people. Like, thank God I didn't go through, you know, foreclosure, repossessions, bankruptcy, any of that stuff, but it still affected us. So now, looking back on it, knowing what I know now, if you position yourself just right and you have, you know, some capital, you can make some major moves. I know a lot of people that were investors, they came up so much when the crash, because if you were to drive down the street, say 2009, 2010, every other house was for sale.
So if we wanted to be prepared in the next 5 years, how much cash flow do you think we need to have? Like maybe 10,000, 15,000, 30,000?
Honestly, depending on how you want to invest, because there's so many different ways. You can fix and flip, you can wholesale, you can do tax liens. There's so many different ways. You can actually...
Tax liens is, but that's brutal here in Atlanta, boy. Every vulture's out there on that tax lien like, I want that right here.
Yes, I mean, there's a couple of different ways to do that too. But you can buy a tax lien less than $10,000.
Yeah.
But you just got to hold it, depending on the state.
A year to 2 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just kind of holding it, but you'll still make money because depending on how you work it, say you buy a tax lien and you give them their 12 months or their 13 months, and they come back and say, hey, I want to pay you, then you charge them 20% plus that. So you still make your money.
You still make 20% on top of your...
Yes, but to do tax lien, you need capital because you've already invested, say, $7,000 to $10,000, and you just got to sit there for 13 months. What's going to happen? Am I going to own the property or are they going to buy it back?
Right.
So you really have to have capital to do that part of the business. But it's doable.
Yeah.
And then once you start, you can start locally or you can start in different states. But every state have their different rules about how long you have to hold the property.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. So where can they follow you on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter? Where are you on social media?
Wow. Let me just say this. I'm horrible on my social media. I'm getting better. I think my Instagram is selling ATL Luxury. And then my Facebook is my name, Tonia Fiseme, and that's F as in Frank, I, L as in Larry, S as in Sam, hyphen, capital A, I, M as in Mary, E. I know that's a lot. My name is French. It means beloved son.
Oh, awesome.
Thank you. And then I have, of course, my business page on Facebook, which is Fiseme and Associates.
Okay.
But if you go on Facebook, you can find me, Tonia, Tonia Fiseme. Pretty easy to find.
And we'll have her links and stuff like that to her Facebook and all that on the ATL Connector YouTube page as well. And we're going to take a couple pictures and put it up on Instagram. as well at ATO Connector. So, well, if you need help with your branding or anything like that and kind of unifying it all, let me know. I
I
help
need
you out with that.
Help me.
One of the other reports, are you familiar with the Clue report?
I heard of that not too long ago. Please inform me.
So a Clue report is what the insurance companies look at as your rating, and that's free, that anybody can get through the LexisNexis website. So just Google Clue and then like LexisNexis, but it's still covered under the CFPB, like the FCRA. So if you see anything on there that shows it wasn't you or whatever, but it's stuff that affects your credit rating and your insurance rating and stuff like that. So
I did.
I mentioned that in the group recently, in the Connecting Atlanta group recently.
Yes, and then I went to a real estate investment boot camp last month. That's where I heard the Clue report.
Okay,
I was like, I know I've heard that somewhere.
Yeah. So, but we got to get ready to wrap up. This is the fastest 30 minutes I've had in radio in a long time. So I'm so glad that you were able to come onto the show today. And definitely check out worldstarhitradio.com. Connecting Atlanta Radio is on the site every single Tuesday at 8 o'clock p.m. airing live. And then if you check out Connecting Atlanta on YouTube, you'll be able to find our show video recorded and all of Tonia's links as well to her Facebook, Twitter, and all that. I'll have all that listed on there. But Tonia, thank you so much. Is there any last thing last comment or inspiration or something you'd love to share with our audience today?
Let me dive deep. No. Actually, one of the things that I'm learning is to just be authentic and live in my truth. And I think this year has been just a lot of wisdom for me as far as my destiny and moving forward. I've had to cut some people off and add some people and just really excited. So just be you, be authentic. Everybody needs their team, right?
Yeah.
4 or 5 people around them that are going to tell you the truth, that love you and truly care about you. So definitely be you.
Be you. Well, there's our everlasting words from Tonia. Be you. Be the authentic you. I'm Jacqueline. This is Tonia. This is Connecting Atlanta Radio. See you next Tuesday.
The hottest music, R&B, hip hop, pop,
I still get
reggae, EDM, indie, old school,
side. Check it.
and sports talk.
Right here.
WorldStarHitRadio.com.